Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn, a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, in Singapore right now. And I am on day 10 of my 100-day creative blog project, where over the next 90 more days, I'm going to be sharing my learnings and realizations about following your dream, following your passion, the creative process, the artist journey, self-expression, personal growth, all these things that I love and love to talk about. If you have questions relating to any of these, feel free to leave them in the comments below any of the videos, or write to me in my social media links, or email me. All the info that you need is in the write-up attached to these videos. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well and your perspectives on some of the things that I've talked about, because only when I hear and see other people's perspectives, I also gain more understanding of what I'm going through. Because ultimately, I think, every single one of us, we are all human beings, and we're all in this journey of life together, and we're each on our own journey, but yet at the same time, we're kind of in this together, even though we are on our own separate journeys. So you can only journey on your own journey. I mean, you're the only one who can go on your own journey alone, but yet you're not alone, because everyone else is also on their own journey concurrently at the same time as you. So I think that's really amazing. Um, so there's no right or wrong way to live. I think that ultimately what really matters is, again, it comes back to what I shared on day one. Like, what is it that you are most going to regret not doing at the end of your life? And that usually is an indication of something that really matters to you, something that is a worthwhile purpose for you in this lifetime that we have here. I don't know if there are any other lifetimes. I think there are, but right now and here in this dimension, in this lifetime, that's all we can handle right now. So there's this quote on my wall, and it is by Helen Keller, who is an American author who was both blind and deaf. And the quote reads, "True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but fidelity to a worthy purpose." So this is a quote that has been on my wall ever since my first solo exhibition. I think it was shortly after that I came across this quote, and it resonated with me then, because at that point in time I understood what it meant. You see, I think, like most people, we've been fed the idea that, happiness is something that we strive towards, that when we have certain things in our lives, like when we have enough money, when we find the right partner, when we finally, get married and settle down and have kids, when we finally buy our dream house, when we finally have our dream car, when we have our dream job, then we attain true happiness. And not that there's anything wrong with that. But I guess what this quote really means is that, it's not about trying to make yourself happy. Like, happiness doesn't come because you're trying to make yourself happy. But happiness comes as part of the package of pursuing something that's worthwhile to you, and something meaningful to you, and something that really matters to you in this lifetime. So, what is a worthy purpose? That would really depend on you and what you want to define that to be for you. When I was younger, I used to think that, to live a worthwhile life meant that I would have to do something huge and like make a huge difference in the world and change the world somehow. Um, and that's very ambitious, right? And I think maybe people might get a similar kind of misconception as I did, that thinking that in order to live a worthwhile life, we have to do something really life-changing. We have to really make a difference. And I think that results in people maybe, contributing to charities and to humanitarian efforts without really understanding why they are doing it. And that maybe these things are not truly what matters to them, but they think that that's what they're supposed to do in order to live a worthwhile life and have a worthy purpose for something. So just to be clear, that a worthy purpose isn't necessarily something that has to be like, world changing, but more importantly, what is something that you can devote yourself to that would make a difference, first of all, in your world. And again, there's no right or wrong way to live our lives, right? Because Just because, you're doing a day job that you don't love doesn't mean that your life is any less worthy than someone who's pursuing their passion. It's just two completely different journeys. But what I will say though is that when you pursue what I will say though is that whatever path you choose, whether it's to settle for something that seems easier on paper, to achieve the goals that you want, or to live a simple life, or whether you go a little bit crazy and put yourself out there and really achieve your biggest and wildest dreams, whichever path you choose in life, they're both difficult. They're both they both have their the price that you need to pay in order that when you choose them you're going to pay a price. They both come with obstacles, internal and external, and there's no comparing that one life is better than the other because they are both equally going to be challenging. At one point in time, I used to do internships when I was a student in the US, and I also had a day job before where I had to work 5-6 days a week, the regular 8 hour shift. And it was difficult. I mean, it was difficult for me because I was bored out of my mind because these jobs were not something I was passionate about. So I was bored. I felt trapped and stuck because I don't like routine. So telling me that from 9 to 5 you have to be at this place, I couldn't I couldn't deal with it. Okay, so it is difficult to have a day job. Even if you think that your job is easy, it is still a difficult path to choose. And at the same time, having been on the other side where I'm pursuing my passion, where I'm doing all these things that don't necessarily bring me a lot of financial reward, but I do them because it's what I feel that I have to do in order to feel like my life has meaning and that I'm doing something that's worthwhile with my time here. But that's also difficult. It comes with its own difficulties. So I guess what I'm saying is, however you want to choose to live your life, maybe start questioning, like, is this something that is worthwhile for you? Is this something that is worthy for you to pursue? And is this something meaningful to you? Or even if, is what you're doing leading up to something in the future that would be meaningful to you? There's no right or wrong way to live. There really isn't. But it's more about why are you making these choices that you're making, and why are you choosing to live your life this way? Because ultimately, if happiness is part of the bonus that you want to get, then maybe it's time to reconsider what you're really living for, and not just go stumbling around in the dark because everyone else is doing the same thing. So yeah, that's my little sharing today. Maybe I'll expand more on this another time. In the meantime, if you have questions, do feel free to leave them in the comments or directly message or email me, and subscribe to my YouTube channel or like my Facebook page, wherever you're watching this on. And I will see you tomorrow.